Good morning. This is Jeremy Sizemore with ASAP Executive Spotlight. This is, as you guys know, ASAP is a SAP focused recruiting firm. And our Spotlight series is a video podcast series where we interview different SAP executives and SAP experts or just business leaders that we might work with as well. Today, I have with me Narasimha Prasad Bhat. Um, uh, Narasimha is based out of the Milwaukee, Wisconsin market and is an SAP content creator and really someone that's done a great job with his branding of his personal image, so much so that I'm sure it impacts his career extremely positively. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me in your show.
So this morning, one thing that I want to do at the very beginning here, as I introduce you, is I just want to show everyone what your LinkedIn profile looks like, so that if they want to connect with you or get to know more about who you are, so many people that watch through my network are SAP professionals, and so are you, obviously. Narasimha Prasad Bhat, you can see how his name is spelled right here. And you can really see right off the bat, he's got a great LinkedIn page, a very professional headshot. He's got a very nice backdrop at the very top of his LinkedIn profile. And it shows that he's an SAP master blogger. It shows that he's got deep expertise in SAP, very strong in supply chain, production planning, PLM, EAM. But it also shows that he's a speaker. Narasimha has spoken at SAP events, like ASUG or Sapphire or different kinds of conferences that put SAP content together. And, he's really doing a good job on creating that content, putting stuff out into the marketplace that helps all of us to get better at understanding SAP and it's building his brand as well over time. So I want to go into just a couple of questions that I have and then mainly hear from Narasimha himself. So why is personal branding so important for an IT consultant or an SAP consultant? Why is it important and how has it helped shape your career?
Okay, it's a great question. So, personal branding is critical for an IT consultants, especially in today's highly connected world. And beyond your technical proficiency, it's vital to create your own unique identity, showcase your knowledge, showcase your skills, and a value that resonate with your audience. So this is important. So the other thing is you have an opportunity to establish your expertise. It is the key. Personal branding is the key to demonstrating your expertise and thought leadership in your domain. By sharing your insights with a broader audience, you increase your visibility and influence. Then of course it helps you in building career. My personal branding journey enabled me to transform from being a well-known SAP architect to a globally recognized social media influencer. So my writings and contributions have been acknowledged by my peers, experts, and it has opened a lot of opportunities to me in judging many international competitions, speak in events, and even review academic journals. Then,
Absolutely.
yeah, then other thing is I also see that during your difficult times, especially when the market is very bad, this personal branding it gives you a lot of career movement even in those challenging times. With a robust personal brand, you attract opportunities continuously. I can say about my own way that often the employment offers which I continuously keep getting, they are 30 to 40% higher base salaries compared to when I was not having a good brand, when I was known
I
as
think
just an
you
SAP
you have
architect.
brought up a really big point is that more opportunities come your way. It doesn't mean you have to take all of them, but
Yes.
when more opportunities come your way, you get to be selective about things that really advance your career. And of
Yeah.
course, earnings potential, so you can make more income. And I don't know anyone that's listening to this video that probably isn't interested in, how do I further my career? How do I make better career choices and possibly make more income? I mean, those are things that impact all of us, regardless of what your exact background is. And that,
Yeah.
I thought today's session is so interesting. We might have a lot of people that aren't even in IT, because it doesn't matter what your profession is if you can enhance your brand of who you are and what you do, that's valuable regardless of what industry you're even in. We may have people in engineering or in HR or in other types of sales that are watching today's session as well, because it really does transcend any type of professional. These are things that could be valuable for you. How do you use social media to enhance your career and your brand and make more money and get more opportunities coming at you? And even sometimes you get paid for public speaking. And I know one thing, as a recruiting firm owner, one thing I know is that today, when people are looking at any candidate for a job opportunity, we often want to go and look at their LinkedIn. That's just a common thing. Like, it doesn't matter who I'm looking at or what resume I'm looking at, I'm going to go and look at their LinkedIn. And 15 or 20 years ago, that wasn't true. Back then, we just looked at a resume, you interviewed someone, and maybe you got hired. But nowadays, you really want to verify on LinkedIn, is this person who they say they are? And what kinds of stuff are they putting out there? It doesn't mean you have to be super active, but people are going to look into your LinkedIn profile most likely if they're at any point in time going to be looking at you as a candidate for a job. Um, so, how did you first begin your journey when it comes to LinkedIn and social media and building your personal brand? What kinds of challenges did you face?
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's another interesting story. So basically, I started in my brand journey a few years back, and I know that I'm an expert, SAP expert, but how can you say that you are an SAP expert, right? So the best way to test yourself in the water is to go to various SAP forums like answers.sap.com, where usually people put very challenging questions. So I used to answer them. So and then this is the way, as a user, I began. When the people started appreciating my answers or my insights, then I recognized the potential to contribute on a larger scale. So then I transitioned into blogging. So based on the trending topics which I was seeing in the SAP community, that usually I transitioned into blogging. My blogging started as my blog started gaining attractions and endorsement from the industry experts. Then I started blogging more and more in SAP. Then I also saw that, okay, when I was blogging only in SAP community, not much traction was there. That is why I started leveraging the LinkedIn. So realizing the potential of LinkedIn as a branding platform, I transformed my profile to reflect my role as a niche SAP blogger and a problem solver. Okay, sharing blogs on LinkedIn, basically they amplified my reach and increased my followers and boosted my confidence, and it motivated me to share more and more. Okay,
I
so
think
I
that's
mean,
awesome. I mean, one of
yeah.
the some of the challenges I heard you talking about are just your own self-confidence. And so you started to test those waters by
Hmm.
talking about what it is that you know best. You looked
Yes.
at, what am I an expert in? What's my expertise? Where am I strong? And then you just kind of went into a more niche online community that SAP has, and you would
Hmm.
answer people's questions, and it started to build that confidence.
Yeah.
And then you realized, okay, I'm not getting my maximum reach, so that was a challenge. I'm not getting my maximum reach. I could have a bigger impact. And when you went to a different tool like LinkedIn, okay, now you started getting more traction with some of the content or expertise that you were sharing in the market. Correct?
Yes.
Any
Then,
other major challenges that we didn't
yeah.
yet talk about?
Yes, sure. The other challenge faced was when I started, one of the primary hurdles was selecting the topics catering to both beginners and experts. When I want to blog, there are so many blogs out there, right? So, how will I select a topic which attracts beginners or experts or both? And then responding professionally to the expert comments you will get, especially when you know that there are apparently SAP design gaps, and there is a real challenge in SAP, but you cannot be so open. You have to be professional in your replies too. So these are the challenges usually you will face, when because when you are writing blog, you have to be open for criticism, right? So and replying to those criticisms was one of the challenges I was facing. And then managing attention, like with increasing recognition that came overwhelming number of messages from followers and constant calls from people who want some kind of solutions. But this was all expected. This balancing this surge in attention with the content creation and regular work commitments, these are all the challenges I was facing. But I would say that despite all these challenges, personal branding journey has been very rewarding, and it has provided a platform to share knowledge and be part of this vibrant professional community. Continuously, it motivates me, and it is very fulfilling experience on its own.
I think that's awesome. And I know in a little bit, I'm going to ask you a specific question that kind of gets more into what we were just talking about there about
Mm.
other people commenting and how do I handle that and go back and forth. But first, I just wanted to ask, was there any significant moment or an achievement that really boosted your personal brand? What are some of the big highlights that you're really proud of that happened to you?
Okay, so I think there were many significant moments. So one of the significant moment was the first one was SAP Champion Awards. There are only about 70 plus SAP champions among 3 million plus unique user visits to the community of SAP.com. So winning that SAP Champion Award was the key turning point. This recognition as an influencer within SAP community brought international attention to my personal brand. Then second was Globis International Awards, where I got as a Best IT Blogger award. So receiving this award also basically kind of validated my position as a thought leader in the IT industries. Then I also got a research paper published, and these research papers, if we see, it's very nice to see that in the Google search, most of my research papers, if you type, let us say, what is the SAP's engineer to order solutions, so my research papers come on the top. So these real world applicability of my work, it strengthens my brand capability, and these were significant moments in my life, in my personal brand journey. And is also about each it's I won't say that these are the significant, each and every post which I uh, put in LinkedIn or in community of SAP, each post interactions and it's a shared piece of knowledge, are mini achievements by themselves, because even if I get one single comment or like, I consider it as my achievement. Okay, that is how I call, despite all this, despite these recognitions, this personal branding is a continuous journey. The satisfaction derived from this sharing the knowledge and the appreciation received from the followers, they it makes me to continue this journey, and it motivates me a lot.
Yeah, outstanding. So, what you and I are doing right now is impacting your brand and mine. It's a form of content creation, right? Video podcasting. And you and I didn't always know each other. So, we started to get to know each other, and now we're collaborating on something. What role did networking and just doing different collaborations play in building your personal brand?
Okay, so let me give a different perspective to this. Like this if I have to take this, broaden my perspective in a way, because networking and collaborating, it helped me to move beyond my initial specialization, which was in oil and gas. Okay, it allowed me to explore a wider range of perspectives in SAP landscape. Okay, so initially, learning from the established influencers, like early in my journey, as I was telling, I used to answer when I was collaborating with other established influencers. Their diverse insights added in depth to my understanding of SAP solution in different industries. So moved beyond oil and gas. So that is what this collaboration helped me in one way. Then now when I am established, I am learning from my followers. As I grew in my careers, my followers, who are many of them are in abreast with the latest SAP changes. They offered fresh insight that further enriched my understanding. This reiterated that learning is always a two-way street. It cannot be one way, and you cannot read everything. You cannot be an SAP expert in everything, right? So, but if you think that you know something few about some SAP topic, by these collaborations and networking, and when you post something, you will learn a lot by your followers and your people with whom you have collaborated.
I think what
So
you've just said is so powerful.
mhm,
A couple of things come to mind for me, but I also coach. I
mhm,
coach athletes. And the idea that when you coach, you are also reinforcing best practices, you're learning. And teachers and professors and coaches have always said that they learn from their students. And so, more people, the more that people know that you're getting value, also, you're giving value back to the market, but it's a two-way street, as you said, and you are also learning. And so I love just an attitude of uh, when you're out there creating content, interacting on social media or in the workplace, that there's always an opportunity to grow and learn. And we don't always know the only way to do something or the best way. Sometimes there is a better way, and we have to be open minded. When we go about what we do. Yeah, that's outstanding. What
mhm.
kind of advice? Because you've been through, how to build that brand, and you've really created quite a social media presence, and you're really well known, I think, now in the SAP world. Um, what advice do you have for other people that are like, man, I'd like to do something where I'm building my brand a little more, and maybe it's very new for them? What advice do you have for them as they get started?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even I, when I see my journey, also I always think that I should have started long back. Okay, that is how the experience is. So the building a personal brand is a journey that requires basically commitment, resilience, and authenticity, I would say that. And my pieces of advice would be: first is, because I know why I didn't start early. So I would like to tell that you should all, if you want to do something, build your personal brand, the first point I will tell is start small, but start. Okay, don't wait for perfection before you start small, perhaps by answering some open questions on SAP. I'm telling about how to build an SAP brand if you are an SAP consultant, but it applies to almost all the places. So you start answering some open questions in SAP or other platforms where your expertise lies, and this is a good litmus test to gauge your expertise and to get a feel for contributing to the broader conversation, right? Then second point I would say is that research the market needs. This is very important because there are so many things which are repeated, you don't get traction. Understand what subjects need attention in your area of expertise. Monitor the pulse of the market to identify what information is in high in demand and where you can add value. Okay. Third is timing of your post. Timing is crucial in gaining visibility into your content. Post when your target audience is most likely to be online or engaged. This is also one way of timing. The other thing, if you see now everywhere, you see the post of AI, right? So if you know some AI subject in your own areas of expertise, let us say SAP, you have heard in SAG or in some best practice content, that will be your one of the content that you can always post. Then other thing I will say that you have to be authentic. There are many people who have a lot of followers in LinkedIn, but I see that most of them are just forward some kind of material or that kind of things. But I am not. That will later it will not give any value to you. They will People will see you or they are following just to ensure that they get some material from you. That should not be your case. Authenticity is the key in personal branding. Maintain your unique identity in all your communications. Your uniqueness is your strength. Then
I think
last
that's
one is,
awesome.
yeah, last one
Yeah.
is step out of your comfort zone. Most of us are experts, or many of you are experts. You are in your comfort zone, ready to face criticism, learn new skills, take on roles that is not familiar with, come out and start this journey. And I
I
tell
think
you,
that
it is worth of it.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I also, think when people are thinking about content or what to post about, you can be aware of industry trends, right? So if you know that a lot of organizations or companies might be looking to go from on-prem to S4 HANA or Rise or cloud, like if you know that that's a major trend, then that means probably lots of people are interested in, hey, how challenging is that? What's the best practices, or what are the pros and cons if you go from on-prem to cloud hosted? And you also want to think about the biggest challenges or the pain points, like what causes problems at whatever company you're at and in the area that you're an expert in. What has been our biggest challenge or pain point, and then what kind of problems did we overcome? Well, how did we do that? That's a story. That's a journey. When you can talk about something that you're proud of, it starts out as a problem, a pain point, a challenge, but something that you and your organization did, you overcame that challenge. And so when you have I call them miniature stories, but that's something that you can now put into a written form. You could do a podcast about it, but you could just write a little blog about it. You could just some people just kind of write little stories on LinkedIn and just post it as a normal post. But then other people go in and there's a way on LinkedIn that you can be a content creator. There's a certain button that you flip, and when you do that, now you can write actual kind of like a newsletter blog, where it looks more professional. It just looks more like a professional um, blog as opposed to just a normal post. But whatever you do, I think your other point was huge. It's that paralysis by overanalysis. Sometimes people want everything to be so perfect that they just delay, 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 and they don't really get started in doing something. And once you start doing some of what we're talking about today, you're going to get better, right? Like if you're 3 to 6 months in and you've done 30, 40, 50 posts that are related to your content creation, that are related to building your brand, you're going to get better, right? You're better down the road than you are the very, very first week that you do your first one, right? And so anything that you do, as long as you do it and do it often, you're going to get better. So I think that was a really good point that you had.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of IT consultants, you and I, obviously in the SAP world, feel that they already have a solid reputation among the clients that they work with, right? And within the company that they support. But what additional value does a LinkedIn personal brand bring to them? What do you think?
Yes, like actually building a personal brand on LinkedIn brings uh, many additional benefits. Okay, even to those consultants who are already having a solid reputation. I would say that expanding your reach is the first. Like LinkedIn has over I think 700 million users across globe. Having a personal brand on LinkedIn gives you access to this vast network, expanding your reach beyond your current clients and the company, right? Second thing is your leadership. Like by regularly sharing your insights, knowledge, perspectives, you can establish yourself as a thought leader in your area of expertise. This can lead to opportunities for speaking engagements, webinars, podcasts, and many more, right? And I also spoke about career opportunities. If you are not actively job hunting, LinkedIn makes you visible to potential employers. A strong personal brand can lead to job offers. I think you already explained this quite well in the beginning. Then your brand recognition. When you have a strong personal brand on LinkedIn, you often show up in search results as when someone looks for an expert in some specific field. Like it is very nice to see that in Google searches you are on the top. So this will give you a kind of visibility and recognition. Then the power of influence. Once you have this brand, you are an influencer. With this personal brand on LinkedIn, you can influence discussions, trends, and even the direction of your area of expertise. This can provide a sense of fulfillment and can also help you to make a real impact in your field. Then it gives a continuous learning opportunities. Because you have posted somewhere, you think you are an expert, but the comments by the users or a message from users, a call from users will make you to understand there is much more to learn. It's a two-way journey, right? So this way, even if a consultant is well regarded in existing circles, a personal brand on LinkedIn can amplify their influence, they expand their opportunities, and reinforce their reputation on much broader scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. Social media obviously is a space where anyone can voice their opinion. You never know who's going to say what, and when you put, content out there every once in a while, you'll get someone a little bit of negativity, or someone will say something, that might rub you the wrong way a little bit. It's not always as positive as we'd like it to be. How do you manage and respond to negative criticisms or feedback on your posts?
Okay. Yeah, dealing with negative criticism or feedback on social media post is inevitable part of your journey. Okay, and it can be challenging. How I approach is first and foremost is acceptance. Right. First, it's crucial to understand that not everyone will agree with your viewpoints or approach. It's natural part of the discourse in any public forum, including social media. Okay. The second thing is you need to have open mindedness. So I try to see every piece of feedback, a positive or negative, as a chance to learn and grow. Sometimes critical comments can point out areas of improvement that I hadn't considered, or introduce a new perspective to consider, right? So third is like professionalism. How I respond to negative criticism is part of my personal brand. I always strive to respond professionally and constructively, respecting the other person's viewpoint, even when I disagree. Okay. Then I focus on constructive criticism. Like I differentiate between constructive criticism and negativity for the sake of it. Constructive criticism is valuable and can lead to growth. If the comment is purely negative without any basis, I usually choose not to engage. Then the last
Yeah.
point is self care. Finally, it's essential to remember that negative comments are not personal attacks, but opinions about specific post. It's not personal attack about a specific post or an idea. It's a crucial not to negative feedback affect my self-esteem or my motivation. It's okay to take a break from social media if it gets overwhelming, but I usually sometimes it becomes too much. I just try to disengage with that person, whoever is giving a negative criticism, because there are also others who are reading, they can also understand what is going on. So
Yeah. Once you
ultimately I
put
say that,
something into social
yeah.
media,
Mhm.
then it's public.
Yes.
it kind of can live on in infamy, if you will. And
Yeah.
so whether you reply to someone's email
Hmm.
or whether it's a thread on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I know there's even comments on YouTube,
Hmm.
you know, anytime it kind of has that negative feeling, it makes you feel a certain way, right? And that's a good, when you feel that feeling come on, it's good to slow down, to think about how you respond. Don't be quick in your reaction and press send right off the bat. Those are all best practices. Hopefully, all of us listening to this video know that. But we also have people of different generations sometimes that are listening to these videos, and millennials or Gen Z, Gen Y, and as you mature and get a little older, you really realize some things are just being constructive. It might feel negative at first. You think about it and you're like, oh, okay, it's a valid point. It's just someone else's perspective. It's not meant to just be purely negative. And then we also know that then there's times that it's just, man, this is just nothing but pure negativity. And sometimes it's better just not to respond whatsoever.
Yes.
Almost everything that Narasimha just said, I believe to be true as well. And as another person that does a lot in social media, I think everything you said is the same way that I believe about it. So
Yeah.
those are really good. I think best practices. So, is there anything that we haven't talked about so far that's relevant, do you think, when it comes to just social media and branding, or how to or best practices? Anything that we kind of haven't covered yet?
Yeah, I think one of the best practices, I would say that if you want to have attraction to your posts is hashtagging. Okay. And then I would also say that that you are not the only expert. There are experts who are much better than you, or there are experts who are upcoming. Try to tag them in your post so that it reaches to the right people, and even their network is also able to see your post, right? So that's always the best practices. And uh, commenting on, because uh, I feel that I comment on many of the posts which I like. When I am expecting that my post should be liked and commented upon, then you have to do that for others too. There are so many posts I really like, and I wish I would have written that, or I wish I didn't know. And this is something very new to me, and I comment, and really appreciate those people.
There's
So I
really a
think
symbiotic relationship in social
yes,
media where when
yeah.
you like, share, and comment,
Mhm.
you're participating in the marketplace.
Mhm.
And IT folks like ourselves understand, there's algorithms that are behind
Mhm.
Google and LinkedIn and, you know, SEO strategy, search engine optimization around keyword searching. And
Yeah.
so when you like and share and comment, you're helping people's stuff be more visible in people's feeds, right?
Yes.
And you're participating now, and you're becoming an expert. And then also just being smart about who you accept into your network and who you invite into your network and who you want to follow and who you want to
Yes.
connect with. There are a lot of fake profiles out there, it seems like
Mm.
nowadays in
Mhm.
LinkedIn world. So I love to connect with real people that are in, for me, it's SAP is the main area we recruit in, and cybersecurity and SAP. But I also have a whole nother collection of people that I'm connected to that are in talent acquisition and recruiting. And so there's two different worlds that I kind of work with at the same time. But I try as much as possible to keep my network relevant. So I'm not necessarily trying to grow my network with lots of people that have nothing to do with who I am or what I do. I'm really trying to have a quality network of people that I'm connected to, and I know that they're real. They're real as well.
Yeah.
So, man, this is awesome. I really appreciate you for spending some time with us today, going over, I think, an important topic for everyone, regardless of what profession you're in. Obviously, Narasimha and I are both a lot in the SAP world, But no matter what space you're in, managing your LinkedIn, making it look professional, having a fully filled out LinkedIn. Some people don't have a good professional headshot on there, or there's just certain sections of their profile that they haven't really completed or filled out. And so when you really go through there and spend some time on, it's just like spending time on your resume, thinking, hey, have I updated it? Do I have the relevant keywords for my expertise? And um, really going through and doing an exercise on keywords is really interesting. Just with a piece of paper, write down all the keywords in the space that you play in. So if Narasimha is supply chain focused, he might say, is SCM on my profile? Is IBP on there? Is APO on there? Is, PP, WM, EAM, whatever. IT is filled with jargon, right? But a lot of times we have some of it, but there could be a similar way of saying the same thing. And so do I have all the relevant language? Because that's how people find us when they're keyword searching. And when you update your LinkedIn profile every so often, it comes back to the top and it shows up in people's feeds. If LinkedIn kind of knows, is it an active profile or is it a non-active profile? And so when you get involved, at least daily or weekly, and don't go long periods of time without sharing something, doing something, saying something, the more active you are, the more visible your stuff's going to be in people's feeds. And
Yes.
just little tricks, like when you share and like and comment on other people's, and then there's a back and forth. Now, when you do post, your stuff's more likely to be in their feed, right?
Yes. And
So
I think we should use LinkedIn Analytics too. It gives you, if you are out of LinkedIn, the analytics will tell you the story. So you should always keep an eye on LinkedIn Analytics.
you should.
Right?
You want to know who's following you, who's looked at your
Mm-hmm.
profile. Ooh, who are they? What are they? I wonder why they're looking at my profile. It doesn't mean you necessarily need to be obsessed with LinkedIn,
Yeah,
but if
correct.
you go check it for 10 or 15 minutes in the morning while you're drinking your coffee, or at the very, very, very end of your day, or at lunch, if you just do a quick 10 minutes at the beginning of the day and 10 to 15 at the end of the day, you can actually accomplish a lot in a short amount of time. And so hopefully we've given you guys some things to think about. We encourage you to join the conversation right here underneath this video. There's comment section. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Is there something we didn't talk about? Is there something that has worked really well for you? And even if you have questions, Narasimha and I both can help
Yes.
chime in after the fact, and we'll be watching our comments, as you guys all know. If you want to connect with me or Narasimha, feel free to send out an invite. Let us know you watched our video. But we really appreciate your time today, Narasimha, sharing all your knowledge and vision around social media and content creation, and why brand building, your personal brand, why that's valuable, why that's important. And how it might help someone in their career, help them make more money, help them get more opportunities, all those different reasons. So we appreciate you guys, and hope that you stay tuned for future video podcasts on ASAP Executive Spotlight. We'll let you guys go for today, and look forward to seeing you and talking with you again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.